Not only the DOJ, FBI, Department of Homeland Insecurity, and look at this. Look who's voting for Kamala Harris. You can't make this up the IRS. It's time to eliminate the mitochondria of it all. Is the 1913 Federal Reserve who prints our money since 1913.
Wait, talk about. Is this true, y'all? Is the IRS actually endorsing Kamala Harris?
Do you know that I'm not for what Harris, like she's for abortion?
Okay.
And that is just simply no. It's just not the way we think, you know. So I don't know. I mean, we sure hope that somebody can get it that can handle, you know, can handle all what's happening.
How has the community changed in the last 4 years? Like, has the change in regulations affected farming and stuff like that? Like, how has the landscape changed?
Actually, the only thing that I really know changed is the prices. The prices keep going up.
Okay.
So yeah. Other than that, I mean, I guess I can't tell big difference.
After speaking with Elizabeth, I stepped outside to ask more voters who they were going for, and noticed this gentleman wearing a MAGA hat. I couldn't even start the interview with him because he noticed something too.
Hey, sir. Sir, that's a great hat you're wearing. Yeah. Nice hat, man. I like it, man. I like.
One of the biggest issues I see in people who do decide to vote for Donald Trump, such as the lady prior to this gentleman, is prices, or in better words, the economy. And that's actually one thing that I think is extremely important that I believe the left side tends to ignore a little bit. And the reason why I think it's important is because it would be different if prices were just, you know, going up and it was just annoying. Like, oh my gosh, things were much better 10 years ago. You know, the common trope. But the state of the economy that we're at now is borderline recession, borderline depression. It's to the point where people can't even afford homes. People have to decide between eating and paying bills when it goes to the grocery store. Every single visit to the grocery store is above $100. And if you're making an average income of what, $4,000, $5,000 a month, that's, come on, man. You can't even go to the grocery store, what, 2 times a month without spending $200, $250, $300, especially if you have a family. So I just wish the left kind of focused on that topic a little more. But let's get back into it. Before we get any further into the video, did you guys watch the last debate? It's a perfect example of how our current media environment contributes to division and makes it hard for people to think for themselves and form their own opinions. This is why I only use Ground News for my news. Ground News cuts through all the noise and allows me to form my own opinions. What is Ground News? Ground News is a website and app that gathers news from 50,000 sources around the world so you can stay fully informed on the news of the day and see through media bias and manipulation. Check it out for yourself at ground.news/LFRJojo. Looking at Ground News, we can see that there are over 600 articles on a recent story asking who won the Harris-Trump presidential debate. If we look at the coverage details and bias distribution, we can see which news sources covered this story along with a breakdown of the political leaning outlets reporting. 41% of sources reporting are from left-leaning sources, while just 22% is from right-leaning sources. Let's compare headlines to see what each side is saying. Politico, an outlet that leans left, reports Harris won the debate and it wasn't even close. While this headline from the New York Post, an outlet that leans right, calls out the biased moderators. Kamala Harris did just enough in the debate with help from ABC. Interesting how outlets on the left completely ignore the moderator's bias against Trump. My favorite feature, however, is the blind spot feed. I use it so I won't miss out on any important stories covered by just one side of the political spectrum. This tool is a great way to see what the media is ignoring, and it helps me make sure I'm getting a balanced view of the news. If you want access to Ground News, just use ground.news/LFRJojo, click the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen and you'll get a 40% discount. I wouldn't lead you guys astray. Ground News will give you literally unbiased news. But let's get back to the video.
Sir, can I ask you, we're doing a documentary right now and we're asking people who they're voting for. Do you mind coming in here and telling me why you're voting for Trump?
It's easy, sir. Just speak your mind.
So why are you voting for Trump?
Because he has a policy and she doesn't. She's a flip-flopper.
What are the policies of Trump's that you like?
Well, the border, the Keystone Pipeline. See what else? The no tax on tips for And then there's if you work overtime, he doesn't want to tax that. I'm trying to think of something else.
I saw that Kamala copied his no tax on tips. Do you think
Yeah,
that
she's a flip-flopped on both of them, I know.
Do you think that she'll copy the no tax on overtime?
She will. She will eventually. If she ever comes out of her cocoon, so I don't know.
What about you, sir? Why you voting for Trump?
The reason I'm voting for Trump is I voted for Trump in 2016 when the first thing he announced was the fake news media, because I've always had this feeling that we were being lied to. And yes, the mainstream media, Hollywood and all of that played a part in the psyop of keeping us from the real truth. Yes, so fake news media.
And you know what's ironic about that? I know Kamala Harris, I know her campaign is trying to basically cut down on people being lied to and so on and so forth if she becomes president. But my problem with her approach to that is that it's on borderline censoring. And what do I mean by that? If you guys remember, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, there was a big problem online where if you were to even tweet anything borderline controversial towards the Democratic Party, your page was getting deleted, your page was getting blocked. You couldn't say anything. And this was during an election year. So let's say Kamala Harris is in office, and I'm not saying she's going to do this. This is just speculation based off of what I've heard about her, what I've heard her say. If your approach is to censor lies on social media, Kamala, how are you going to determine what's a lie? Are you just only going to, go against things that go against you, or are you going to go against both sides? I really want to know the answers to that, but let's get back to the video.
The reason why I support Trump is that, number one, exposing the deep state. Now you see P. Diddy, who is linked to Barack Obama. He's linked to Hollywood in so many ways. And you know how LeBron James said, ain't nothing like a Diddy party. Well, that's what's being perfect timing. That's what's being played out right at this moment, is that not only the DOJ, FBI, Department of Homeland Insecurity, and look at this. Look who's voting for Kamala Harris. You can't make this up the IRS. It's time to eliminate the mitochondria of it all.
My gosh.
Is the 1913 Federal Reserve, who prints our money since 1913. That's who the albatross is.
Wait, talk about. Is this true, y'all? Is the IRS actually endorsing Kamala Harris? I pray this is false. I didn't even know the IRS could endorse somebody. That statement to me, I hope that's false. Because if that's the case, how do you have a government agency? Nah. I refuse to believe that. Let's get back into it.
Until we start printing our own money, we'll never be free. And once again, I'm Red Pill Ken. I moved to Pennsylvania out of New York about 4 years ago because I could see how New York was becoming communist. There was no God in New York. No sense of God in New York. But in Pennsylvania, you will find some semblance of God and country. And I love the farmers.
I'm not going to say too much, but it's just ironic he's saying this, considering the New York governor or mayor, forgive me, because I don't live in New York, so I don't know. The New York mayor, I believe, is being indicted on federal charges. That's insane. The fact that he's saying what he's saying right now, and the New York mayor is actually facing real charges that he denied. I give him that. He denied them, but the Fed doesn't play. Let's go back.
I love our farmers, and that's why I'm right here in this facility right here. We're only open on Tuesdays, but I'm shopping with people who I believe in, which is the Amish, where we're going to get a better food, free of pesticides, right? And I just love Pennsylvania for that reason. I'm going to live healthier, and I'm going to spend my money with people who I believe in Americans' principles and their values. God bless you, President Trump. Thank you for coming to the rescue to save America from these communists.
I am for the people of the United States.
Okay. So are you voting for a third party?
I'm not going to say which I'm voting, but I'm for the people of the United States.
Okay. Can you tell which are most
I'd rather not.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Yeah, of course. We're doing a YouTube video right now, guys. Is that all right if I ask?
CBS was here earlier.
Oh, really? I want to interview both you guys. I want to ask you, why are you guys voting for Trump?
Well, I'm voting for his policies.
Okay.
If you don't get this country back on track, you're not going to have a country. It's going to be a socialist country.
How
And
do you
he's
think-
got the right policy.
How do you think we're off track right now?
Well, the border, the economy, and just everything else. Prices, I mean, inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. How have you felt that in Lancaster? Are you living here?
No, I'm from Maryland.
Maryland? Okay, so
Yeah,
how
Socialist Republic of Maryland.
okay, so how is like the president impacted that area specifically? Have you felt like major changes in that area?
What, Biden?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go out to dinner with my wife for less than $50. Now it's costing me $75 for the same meal. I mean, you know, and people are, look at the gas prices now. That's ironic, isn't it? They're running for office, and now the gas prices start coming down. You know, so I mean, that's the other
And the
thing.
Fed cut the interest rates right before the election.
Oh yeah, right. And we're not, you know, energy independent. I mean, I'm a farmer, and I got to have fuel for my equipment. So,
Can you tell me about your farm and how you run it, and really how politics affects farming?
well, they got more regulations on us now. All right, and I have a farm that I sell hay to other farmers, and the farmers, if I add all my fuel costs up, I got to raise the price of a bale of hay. And these little independent people that have horses, I sell hay to them. So it affects everybody. Come going down the line.
What are what are some of those regulations? Can you list a few that are new?
Well, they got more environmental regulations. You can't put this fertilizer on. You can't put that fertilizer on. So it's just restrictions.
Got it. Thank you so
My problem with these restrictions, and if you guys don't know, I'm sure you know, I say it in every video, I am an engineer. So I build things, electrical circuits, so on and so forth. And there's a common phrase in engineering: if it's not broken, don't fix it. Because it's hard to get something to work, an actual electrical system. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's kind of relevant to what he's saying right now. You're imposing regulations on something, and he's a farmer. From his perspective, wasn't even broken, something that didn't even need regulations. And what's happening is when you try to fix something that's not broken, such as the farming industry, by imposing environmental regulations, you cause new problems. That's why the phrase, if it's not broken, don't fix it, exists. Because if you try to fix something that isn't broken, you will break something else. And that's kind of what's happening from his perspective to the environment, or to his farming industry. He's practically saying it's snowballing into the cost of gas, and then the cost of hay, then the cost of other farming utilities, and so on and so forth. And that's what's causing the price rake. And it all leads back to the new regulations that are being placed, which kind of suck, because I understand, you know, regulations that are dire that we need to impose, or there'll be really big problems in the country or even in the world. But when you're just imposing regulations to oppose regulations, or you're imposing regulations just to feed into a social cause, it's kind of counterproductive. But anyways, let's continue.
much. So what's your name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy, I'm Nate. 8 years. You've been doing this 8 years?
Yeah, took a lot of crap, but I did very well.
Yeah. So you were selling Trump merch in 16 as well?
Yup.
Okay.
It was very soon as he came down that escalator and it came out.
Wow. So you're an OG. You've been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. So how have you felt the heat on you change from 2024? Like, it feels like a lot of Trump supporters feel.
Yeah, his crowd is stable. His MAGA following, you can't. It's like a faith religion. You can't sway them. Our base is solid. It's getting the other base to come over to the party, convincing them of what's going on. Foreign policy, no wars, no one died. Gas was half price. Everyone respected us. Economy was good. No one bothered us. The main thing is no wars. Look at Ukraine. Look at those innocent women and children being slaughtered for nothing. Look at Afghanistan. The Taliban cut their tongues out of the women interpreters that they left behind.
One thing about Trump supporters that you can't deny, you genuinely cannot deny it, is that they genuinely have real reasons for supporting Trump. And I'm gonna keep saying this, because I say this a lot. If you're going to vote for someone, have a real reason on why you want to vote for them. Because if you don't have a real reason, you're just being a fanboy. You're just riding a wave. And I see that a lot, more often than not, on the left rather than I do on the right. On the right, and there's people can say what they want about people on the right. People who vote conservatively, or for example, in this case, Trump, tend to have genuine reasons on why they want to vote for Trump. And one thing I also will say is that they give reasons why they want to vote for Trump, and they don't necessarily give reasons why Kamala is bad. For example, you would ask someone, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? They'll say, because I hate Trump, or because Trump is racist. But when you ask someone why they're voting for Donald Trump or why you're voting conservative, they'll say, oh, the economy's bad, or oh, there's wars going on. You get the difference, and I kind of just wish both, if you're going to vote left or you're going to vote for Kamala, give reasons why you support her. Don't just bash the opposition. Give actual reasons. Give her policies. Why do you want her to be in office? And you may even convince other people. But when you just say, oh, they're racist, you're kind of being a little ignorant. You're kind of being a little... Yeah, just a little ignorant, but let's continue.
Because I don't go to the polls today.
Okay, that's fine.
Why? Because I feel it's better to vote for my niece. Okay.
Right, okay. What is your faith?
We're Mennonite. We're not Amish.
What is it?
We're Mennonite. We're not Amish. So I don't know what the Amish community is.
Okay.
This is a very good video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And who are you guys voting for? I really want to know. And list real reasons why you're voting for them. Don't just say, well, you can say whatever you want. Anyways, it's LFR Jojo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.